Hello, friends. Just getting set up a couple minutes in advance of this playoffs match. For more Apex entertainment. Alright, got the YouTube chat ready, got the Twitch chat ready, we're all set. So, the first question obviously on everyone's mind is going to be, which game should we watch? And you have about less than a minute to get your votes in. So, get your votes in. We already know that Pay the Toll and Skill Issue aren't going to play. Zanshin versus Defteros. Zanshin should win that, and he's ahead in betting. Q versus Scheidel. Q should easily win that, and he's way ahead in betting, obviously. People have a lot of faith in Q. It's like the 4-time back-to-back champion. Valabar versus WindSeeker. The betting is a lot more even. They're both really good players, and I think that'll be an interesting game, so I think that'll be the one that we start with. And then we can move on to some of the other ones if anything super interesting happens. We have tons of time and only a few games tonight, so that makes the most sense. Okay, so, yeah, rallied the troops. The Q versus Scheidel one might be interesting just to see like what Scheidel tries to do against Q. I'm presuming, I think Pay the Toll said in main cord yesterday that Skill Issue, they were going to load in and Skill Issue was going to quit out of the match. Because they are both his account. But he didn't want to screw anyone out of their betting tickets, because a lot of people bet without knowing who's going to play. And he could have just had Skill Issue not show up and forfeit. But I think he's having them show up for the sake of these 471 people. Well, not people, but 471 bets. A bunch of those maybe Pay the Toll insiders, insider trading. Hang on, I gotta get my screen down here a little bit. Buffy, welcome to the chat. Claudio, welcome to the chat. Is it hard to make a mono strategist for PvE? I don't know, I don't think it's hard to do monofaction anything to start off with for PvE. You just need to make sure you have a faction buffer, a tank, a healer. The healer doesn't even need to be on faction, really. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing like later PvE, then you typically need more than just one mono-faction team. There's a lot of modes where you need to field multiple teams, so it becomes more difficult to do that later on. Okay, so these boxes won't be anything too surprising based on what we've already seen so far from these players in the playoffs. The only thing that mixes things up a little bit is that Valabar's got Captain Commando in the box. But both players running super meta. WindSeeker, unless I'm super blind, WindSeeker does not have Christian in the main box. So just the 2 tanks there? But yeah, we're seeing insta first ban to Enya's, and we're gonna see first pick BS, as we saw in every game we watched yesterday as well. So it's a good little refresher on how to play BS, since she spends like 3 turns at the start of each game buffing people. Valabar has been running this OP BS plus Tiana combo, first and second pick. Tiana pairs really well with BS. And WindSeeker gets Ice. Ice is always scary to me, whether it's player 1 or player 2 Ice. But honestly, one of the things about this meta is that if you're running a meta box, you know, there's better and worse pick ban lines, but pretty much no matter what 5 heroes you end up with, it's some kind of scary combination, right? Like, no matter what Valabar bans here, WindSeeker's getting something good, and then something good, and then something pretty good. So you're gonna have like 5 good characters against 5 good characters. And the key to success in this meta isn't necessarily having like 1 or 2 sneaky combos up your sleeve or 1 or 2 combinations of characters that work really well together. It's just kind of knowing how all of your characters in your box can work well together to accomplish your goal. So one of the things we saw with Trinhav in yesterday's games, when we hopped in just to watch the very end, the 3rd game, it seemed like he had all of his eggs in the Captain Commando basket. That was on this map too, wasn't it? Capcom like rushed in, but his AoEs alone couldn't do anything really. I mean, he put big damage out, but he wasn't getting any kills. Couldn't solo with Capcom, and then the rest of his team just ended up getting picked off. So if you're... like, I don't suspect Valabar is going to be playing that way, where his only goal is to launch Capcom in without follow-up, unless he's doing that as a way to stall out WindSeeker's team while the rest of his team gets in there, and then win with, like... well, I mean, we saw Trinhav doing that. This was actually mostly the team that Trinhav tried that with. There was a Lightbringer, there was an Isolde. Oh, but he had an Ice as well instead of, I think, the Tiana, I guess. But yeah, look how scary both of these teams are. Alright. So they'll be adjusting their positioning. And picking their covenants, which we don't get to see as spectators. That's like one of the things that they still haven't put in for spectators to see. One thing they're adding with a future MU is the ability to click on a hero and see what their center casting passive and their unique equipment effects are. Because that's one thing you can't check. Like, if you're in the game and you don't remember, what does so-and-so's casting passive do? There's nowhere on the hero to check it. Like, you can't just click on the hero and bring up that skill like you can with all their other skills. So they're adding that in, like, the current Chinese MU, where you can click on a hero and see what their casting does. That's pretty nice. So Butterfly only on Tiana. Mass Resist here as a counter ice play possibly also indicates that this is oh, yeah. I mean, Capcom was originally conceived of as a kind of like mascot character for Capcom in the 80s, and they didn't put him in his own game until later, like in his arcade game, but he appeared in instruction booklets for a bunch of 80s like Capcom arcade game or console arcade ports, like 1943. I think he's in Bionic Commando, all those old like 80s Capcom NES games. There's like a little blurb in the book with Capcom saying like, "Thanks for buying our games," and then they gave him a game, which is hilarious. Hendry, is Apotheosis still meta? Yeah, Apotheosis is still roughly meta, in global at least. I think he falls off soon when Dragon Slayer Vargas comes out. There's slightly less use for Apotheosis at that point. So we've got a butterfly on this map. Okay, Capcom is coming in right away. Interesting. Let's see if Valabar has better follow-up for this than Trinav had. He got the Tyrant Mark for some reason, I guess to make it easier to kill him on WindSeeker's turn. He's not going to be single targeting anything. Like, even this single target, yeah, that's an AoE. Like, it's technically an AoE skill that goes on one target. So he just comes in, yeah, and instantly erases Mac from the game. He's gone from the game now. That, I think, is a smarter use of Capcom for Valabar in this situation, rather than just trying to get a bunch of AoE damage off that BS is just going to heal anyway. Being able to kill one of WindSeeker's threats on, like, your second action is super valuable. No reason for WindSeeker to panic yet. Capcom does still have weapons. I think I just hit 4,500 hammers, like yesterday or today, from that Eternal Forge. Should I take this bottle from it? I was considering just saving the hammers till next time, because next Battle Pass has that, like, little bell accessory that teleports your hero back. It seems like that is a pretty OP accessory. Even though I'm not 100% sure who I would put it on yet, it's just like one of those unique effects that, you know, you can't go wrong having at least one to put it on something if you need it. It might enable some hit-and-run cheese in PvE, too. Like, I can just see that accessory being super good. So maybe I hang on to my hammers. Hey, Norton, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Najin, I don't know. I've definitely seen way more Macs than Capcom's. But the people who are deploying Capcom at a high level here have, like, good brains. Good strategies for him. The thing is, Capcom's in a couple boxes and really rips shit up when he shows up, but Mac is in pretty much every box. He's one of those, like, kind of versatile, easily included. Actually, someone in main core did like a chart of all the hero appearances. Let's see if I can scroll back and find that. DPS box rate. This is just for the top 16, so for the round yesterday. Mac was in 9 of the 16 boxes, and Capcom was in 6, so that's a lot. Looking at just top 16 is valuable. I think he did a top 256 version as well, though. Anyway, I'm not going to search through main chord for stats like that while the game's on. Dennis, I am currently leaning towards Valabar here. I think taking Mac out right at the start, even if it costs a Capcom, is a good play. Capcom, I think, overall brings less to the table. As a pure AoE, I don't think he would have really done much for Valabar, whereas Mac is just a super dangerous threat to Valabar's team, so I think that's a good trade. And other than that, like, Tiana is very threatening to this Tyrantel. The Isolde will also probably have some time to build herself up. Could get a 3C kill on, like, Horse, for example. So I think that, honestly, the Tiana and Isolde combo is really dangerous for WindSeeker. He needs to find a way to address that. WindSeeker gonna be patient for now, really just getting his house cleaned up, get that Capcom out of there. I suppose the Andrio is really his main threat at this point for dealing with the Isolde or dealing with kind of anything through guard. Tiana is really fun to use, Claudio. She's pretty tricky though, like she has a lot of little secrets. This the EOL Tiana skin, of course. Kinda need another butterfly. I think I only have one butterfly on my account. And there are a few people in a meta box that like butterflies, like Eshin, Tiana, Mac. And then there are other, a few other people who are good with butterflies that are kind of a bit lower down. Like, you can use butterfly on Ice, you can use butterfly on Christian. Definitely need at least one more butterfly for my account to feel like I can move pieces around. Yeah, I mean, Ice Melda Freeze is definitely a weapon. I don't think it's as dangerous if Valabar times his mass resist properly. Thank you for the follow, Notorious Brad. I think it's time to get a new follower goal on the go. 450, 451, Brad, you are 451. Let's start a modest new goal. We are pretty close to our sub goal, too. 2 new subs. And we will start off the new year on a really nice foot. Thanks for the follow, Norton. And we're almost to the new goal, too. Okay. Yeah, when I say I think Valabar has the slight edge, I don't think I mean he can run away with it. Like, he still has to play careful. He can't just charge in and run over WindSeeker's team now. WindSeeker still definitely has threats. And we know that WindSeeker is a very smart player. Based on, we watched a couple WindSeeker games yesterday, and it was very smart strategic play. So this move from Ice is basically to set up some tiles. Set up a little barrier in front of where he wants to gradually be able to move his team up. These tiles aren't going to last a long time, though. Okay, probably not primarily to set up tiles, but he wants to get his normal 3C back. As for who I'm rooting for, as a professional streamer, I probably shouldn't have any bias. But I wouldn't mind seeing Valabar win this. Valabar's been a good friend to the channel. So, you know, he stops by and chats every once in a while. So it'd be nice to see Valabar pull this off and advance to the top 4. I think that'd be the first time in the top 4 for Valabar. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Okay, maybe that was also bait on Tiana, knowing that the Sovereign would survive that? It seems risky to me. She wasn't on terrain, but she did kind of handily survive. I have to say, I am really not a fan of this. Is this the EOL skin? The, like, weird phallus-looking fish unicorns? I would much rather have, like, the normal-looking unicorn. Even if they had made the unicorns look like slightly cooler unicorns, but this thing is just strange. It's strange to me. What's the plan, Ice? You are just going on a huge mission up here. Skull Dice is emoting in main chord. Is there anyone who's scoping out other games? Has he, like, already been killed by Q? Yeah, Moon, whatever they're supposed to be, it's pretty visually unappealing. Oh, I see, Claudio, yeah. Yeah, I've been saying that for a bit. Like, for returning players, it's actually, and new players too, it's pretty tough. Just with so many options, especially this month. Like, there's so many good banners all available at the same time. It's like, have fun not having any tickets. You pretty much need to summon everything. That said, and I know it's easier for me to say this as a player who's been playing since day one, but like, you really kind of have to be willing to just skip a bunch of banners and summon for like one new unit every once in a while. Like, whenever you have the resources, get one, skip a couple, get one, skip a couple. Like, that's how we all played for the first couple of years, right? Other than Wales. Oh, Q won the first game. Thanks, Dennis. Skull Dice should be focusing on his game instead of posting emotes in main chord then. I like this sequence from WindSeeker. Really trying to use ice as like an anchor to move his units closer to the center of the map. He did not want to basically fog hug for this entire game. Oh, pay the toll gloating that he won his match against himself. Okay, so this is Valabar's time to shine. Could see a Tiana act again play here. Oh nice, you got Ice, Bright Summoner, and Enya. That's a really nice thing to come back to the game to. 3 super-powered units. Well, if you have anything left in the tank, you should save it for this week, because the new Mage Twins that are coming out, one of them is super ridiculous for PvE and PvP. The month after that might be a bit more of a recovery month. But it's a gacha game, you know, they don't want to give us too much time to breathe. They gotta keep those summons coming. Hey, WindSeeker's starting to run a little low on backup time here. Yeah, he wants to move Tyrant up into position so that he can move his other units forward. Probably want to go with Ice next, just so that Andy can guard ignore from Ice proximity. So Tiana has nothing up right now. But if she acts, you know, if she just hits now, then a normal attack from Isolde will give Tiana her act again. So they could try to combo Tyrant down. Okay, this gets Ice Melda into front position, so Andy can now benefit from being within range of her. Both players starting to tick down that backup time, but I think we're at the crux of this match now, so they won't really need the rest of their backup time. Whatever happens in pretty much the end of this turn and the start of the next turn is going to decide the match. Okay, no kill. City wall terrain, putting in good work there. So Horse takes the shield, and then the goal here is going to be BS 3C, finishes Isolde off. Yeah, super strong Andy. Super strong Fort Andy. Well, that is definitely not looking good for Valabar now. Ah, wow. Wow, so we saw the Tiana totally whiff kill on that Sovereign of the Ice twice in that match, getting herself counter-killed that time. Rough result for Valabar there. Yeah, WindSeeker is a really smart player. I think WindSeeker's greatest strength, more so than, like, any particular, you know, sneaky box strategy or anything like that. He's just solid. And WindSeeker also likes to play as player 2. Is that like a this season meta thing, where player 2 is seen as advantageous? I always wanted to be player 1 last season. Let's see if Valabar makes any changes to his box here. Knowing that he's going to be player 1... yeah, I don't know. He might be satisfied with his box and just not satisfied with his play or his pick ban from last game, so he may not change anything. But he may want to spice it up. Well, I think it would be good for WindSeeker. Like, he deserves to go deep in this tournament. Because, like I said yesterday, he won first place in Summit der Langrisser for several seasons in a row, so he was a very solid player, but then, for whatever reason, when it came to Apex playoffs, he just never really seemed to show up. So it seems like this is the season he's really showing up. I don't know if he just really likes the meta, but yeah, it'll be nice to see WindSeeker go deep this season. Either of these players I would be okay with winning. Like, I mean, I don't have any enemies in this game. I have some people who are like friends of the channel. Okay, so Valabar is going to drop, as player 1, he doesn't need all these tanks. So he's going to drop a tank for one more slightly offensive option. Hey Soda, welcome. There's the Insta double Enya bans, and we're going to see a couple of BS picks here. What do you think about that last game then, Ding? Do you think the turn 1 Captain for Mac trade was worth it? Maybe we'll see it again this game. Okay, well, you'll check it out after, and you can let me know on main board. But basically, Valabar rushed in with Capcom, did a little full team teleport move, and then used the punch single target AoE to kill not Captain Mac, Mac Knife. But you'd have to kind of see how the rest of the game played out after that to be able to determine if it was worth it or not. Obviously, I guess the results speak for themselves. WindSeeker is up 1 game. Second pick AO is interesting here. Okay, it's going to be WindSeeker getting the OP Bright Summoner plus Tiana combo in this game. Oh man. Mrs. Kong is watching some horror movie upstairs. And even through studio soundproofing, I can hear, like, demonic voices speaking down through the ceiling. Pretty sure that's the movie. Alright, it's going to be BS Tiana on both sides. It's not going to be a pure mirror match, though, because the AO is already banned. Ooh, Virelia. WindSeeker getting his Virelia into the action. Valabar does not have Virelia boxed. Well, maybe next season ladder we'll see some Enya gameplay. People in the chat were asking, like, please, I want to see Enya. You're not going to see people allowing Enya this deep in the playoffs, I don't think. Especially because all the players who are left are probably big whales, so they'll have good Enyas, not... Like, during ladder, I was allowing Enyas, because I figured a lot of the ones I was up against were just like fresh 3 and 4 star ones that people didn't know how to play. But these guys know how to play Enyas, and they're going to be all 6 star. So you don't want to go up against that. Apotheosis a good pick there. And Valabar gets to decide if he wants to have a tank, period. It would be Tyrant-L. Not necessarily the strongest tank against the likes of Tiana or super AoEs. WindSeeker is getting a tank last pick regardless. Okay, so Valabar figures might as well even the odds on that a little bit. One of the downsides of going into a match with no tank, if your opponent has a tank, is if you have to spend extra time getting through their tank while your units are undefended. It makes it a little bit easier for the opponent to spend that extra time killing your guys. Do people even know how to play Enya in PvP given she's 100% banned? Yeah, the people who are left in the top 8, or the top 6 if you don't count, like, Pay the Toll, or like the top 4 if you consider who's going to be progressing through these matches, they know how to play Enya. Either they have experience playing her in China due to having played there for the last several months, or just from scrims. Like, they will have practiced with Enya as well. They know how she works. That said, most people in normal global regular season ladder matches, a lot of them probably don't know how Enya works. She's something like a tank. Given the right conditions, she can guard for one unit, but it's not the same as like a true tank that will guard attacks for your whole team. Yeah, Tiana's, I would say, more like a scary DPS. She kills stuff, acts again, and then kills more stuff. She can run in, guard, ignore, assassinate something, and teleport back to safety. Alright, Skull Dice officially eliminated by Q. Pay the Toll officially eliminated his own ult. This EOL skin is so OP. I love that, like, Holy Angel Tyrantel. Oh, I wish someone had donated that to me when his EOL was running. Such a good skin. Okay. Phalanx, a smart choice on the Lightbringer against both Horse Isolde and Horse Tyrantel. Valabar fishing for that breeze on only Tiana, and he got it. He got his Tiana breeze. And she's got the weird dolphin Terrain Master troops now as well. That's a good point, Riven. Would you even need to be that good at using Enya? You can just clone another unit. Well, I mean, she does have some nice ins and outs to her kit. Like her AoE reducing cooldown triggers, like a couple other things to remember. Like, I actually did see a lot of people playing Enya and forgetting about her little mirror terrain and moving her off it, killing her own clones. So there are a couple little things you need to at least know the basics of in order to use her. But also figuring out the right unit and the right time to clone is a little something. Like any unit, I mean, you benefit from practice with how she fits into your whole team. People will get a chance to play her a lot more when Dragon Slayer comes out. Practice Enya in World Arena? So toxic. Why don't they use Celica? Isn't she broken? Yeah, Celica combos really well with certain heroes. Part of the problem with Celica in this meta is that these guys are first picking Holy BS pretty much every game, and they want to make sure they have DPS as well, rather than have Holy BS and Celica. Hendry plays in SEA. Haven't gotten Tiana update yet. Is it safe to say Tiana shouldn't be in Lancer class at all, especially for PvP? Yeah, it doesn't really matter as much in PvE, but her Assassin class is her best. Definitely for PvP. Wallian comes in here and sees two Uber meta boxes pitted against each other after just finishing Ozma Waifu Wars Scrim stream. Don't worry, Wallian, I sense your sarcasm, your intensely British sarcasm. Ooh, Defteros is up on Zanshin. That's interesting. Norton just keeps losing bets. I mean, you put a bet on Skull Dice over Q. That's partly on you. Valabar really taking his time to try to decide what to do here. You've got your breezed Tiana. You've got potential AoE swap, or AO swap and or teleport action. Hey, Tindo. See, I pinged you on main cord, but I think Moon already got the guy. It was someone looking for a an invite to your server. Oh yeah, it looks like he's in, the new guy, the new Waifu Wars participant, aka victim. So he hasn't played in a while, but he was in Summit der Langrisser back in like Season 6. So it's an existing community tournament enthusiast. This Tiana is just getting ready for next turn action. WindSeeker keeping his Tiana for last action, just in case he needs to counter any kind of sneaky teleports. Ooh. Man, I want this skin. Gotta come back. Actually, Concord has the schedule of EOL skins. Let me just quickly check. Okay, Tyrantel EOL skin is coming back during the SP Tiaris Randall and Hibiscus update. Have to take a look and see if any of their EOLs are nice. That'll be my last chance. Valabar running down the whole clock here. So, Wallian shows up and says riveting gameplay, just in time to watch 200 seconds of nothing moving. What are we thinking? Valabar is desperately trying to calculate, first of all, if he should teleport, and second of all, where. Counting tiles to see where he can teleport someone that it doesn't get killed by this Tiana. And that is taking all of his computational brainpower right now. It's an SP Tiaras Quicksilver, not an LLR Tiaras. But yeah, I have her kit mostly translated on Concord. I mean, she's out, so you can check out what she does. Okay, so that is the play. Okay, we got a big swap and teleport. That is what we traded 250 seconds for. Trying to put himself into a kind of a nice pincer formation here against WindSeeker to see what he does. I just think the little tiny angel halo is so funny. Okay, so now the downside of that last gambit is Valabar has to use the rest of his turns fairly promptly. Yeah, Valabar, no more time to think. He has to execute now. That doesn't mean he's toast, but he needs to basically be using WindSeeker's thinking time to come up with his next action. Or at least know, like, a set of 3 or 4 actions he wants to take in advance. Yeah, at least he's got these 15 seconds and then down to 9 on the backup. So WindSeeker smartly collapses to the back line, fog-hugging against this aggressive posturing by Valabar. Does mean he can't instantly get in with everyone. Force resets and 3C casts take a lot of time, so that's lots of time for Valabar to think. That said, if... Well, really, who's Tiana's first target? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out right now. The Virelia. That makes perfect sense. Valabar may have been hoping the AoE from Isolde could finish off the second life of this Virelia. It looks like a tall order now. Now it's WindSeeker's turn to think. Any SP unit to prioritize other than Cherie for a returning player for Fabio? I mean, Cherie's a good one. She gets used a lot in PvE. The upcoming Tiaras is a good one. Okay, time's ticking, Valabar. Okay, he's gonna go. Finishes off the Varelia. That's fine. No terrain, no shield. Is the Isolde for Varelia trade worth it? So we still have Tiana over here. AO with no skills, really. We still have Tiana over here. And then BS and tank on both sides. So the balancing forces here are the AO with no skills versus the Apotheosis. I mean, if Valabar really thought that he really needed to get rid of that Varelia, that she was going to instantly blow up his team, then he had to get rid of her. But losing the Isolde hurts. Thought I heard little Doberman feet. Breezing up. Doesn't matter as much anymore. Valabar has already launched his main attack here. Both players are going to need to spend some time getting into position for what's coming next. So this Tiana has a new friend. Alright, Tiana on Tiana Violence. That gives Valabar's Tiana the act again. Some minor debuffage on Apotheosis. This is Apotheosis just taking a strong position forward. Look at this. On City Wall as well with the buffed up troops. Valabar's definitely not going for that with his Tiana though. She has no skills. Alright, is this going to be another Tiana on Tiana Violence trade here? I think that was intentional on the Tyrantel because Tiana is one of the good Tyrantel killers. Just didn't get the kill, though. That bypasses troops as well, so that's just pure Tyrantel thickness that survived that. So Valabar going to heal back up from this. And now Valabar's Tiana is going to have an opportunity to, well, I mean, try to kill Tiana again. Look at these stats on Tiana. Like, Tiana's ridiculous. These are well-built Tianas. Mine doesn't have anywhere near that much defense. What a scary unit. I'd like to use her more. But I'm debating. I mean, I played AoE Rush this season, which in my Rush box, there's not really a place for Tiana. So I'm debating if I want to keep playing that, or if I want to play something a little more meta, but not like 100% meta. I'd probably play a meta box and drop like one character for Transcender, or Shalinka, just to have Transcender or Shalinka in the box. Maybe not Shalinka. Shalinka's season is coming, but it's not quite yet. Or I could just go back to full-on myth memes, like with my actual myth, like Sage of the Trees, Transcender, Gizaroth box. Not 100% sure yet. I mean, I guess I have a couple weekends still to decide. Although I guess if they do what they've always done in the past, next weekend will be the finals, and then the weekend after that, Season 20 should start. Just in time for everyone to be flexing their Ilias. WindSeeker's turn to think. Bringing Apotheosis back to safety. I mean, I think he was relatively safe up here. That said, maybe that was purely just to shield him from this Tiana stat. Putting him behind the Lightbringer, making Lightbringer eat the stat. How good is Ilia for PvE? Very good. Very good. My Should You Summon episode will drop in just a couple days, and I'll go over her kit like I normally do. Okay, so Tiana succeeds on that Tyrantel this time, where she did not succeed before. Good persistence from WindSeeker there. Now Valabar is in a much tougher spot. This game's almost over. Interesting. Valabar is going to just try to eat through the tank. Bypassing troops is certainly helpful for being able to do that against a thick Lightbringer. But with no Tyrantel, WindSeeker is going to be able to just start chewing up these units at will. Apotheosis is good for that. Tiana is good for that. Notorious Brad, you just want people to go 2-0 so you don't have to watch 3 games of the same 2 players. Yeah, I mean, maybe it caught him off guard, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't really matter for WindSeeker. If his Lightbringer still has a life, she's still tanking. So that still gives him an entire turn of time to kill stuff with his DPS. So there's no AO here. We can see people absolutely start to pile on this Tiana here now. Taking the AO off the table early this turn is smart because it also removes pretty much the prime target for Valabar. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was close. That was close. The prime target for Valabar to possess with Tyrantel. He's gone now. So Valabar has to make a more difficult decision. I don't think he can possess the Tiana because then he can't do anything. He also doesn't really want to possess the BS because she currently has Tiana's mask. WindSeeker, not going to let Valabar worry about that now. Just killing the ghost. Valabar also with no backup time. Valabar really just sticking in here for the sake of dignity. To see if his Tiana can do like one more thing before this game is over. Well, AO's back. A little too late. There's also no really good exposed target for AO to try to come back to life. Let's see what you can do, Tiana. Not quite finish off the second Lightbringer life. Not with your injured... Yeah, no, that's gonna be it. I mean, I guess Tiana has first strike. Not gonna matter against a thick walled Apotheosis. Everyone lost control. It's basically all that does is take the 15 seconds of Valabar's time away, since he's on auto battle mode anyway with 0 backup time. We even have demon fish creature thing. Woo! Almost a first life kill on that Apotheosis. Yeah, that's a fair point, Wallian. At this point, I guess it's a... well, savoring every remaining second of your appearance in the top 8. Tiana down. Valabar with literally no weapons left. This Apotheosis still has a revive. Yeah, that's it. GG's to both players for giving us a nice, entertaining game. Congrats to Valabar for getting to the top 8. Congrats to WindSeeker for moving on to the top 4. So it'll be Pay the Toll versus WindSeeker, and Q versus the winner of Zanshin Defteros, which is still on. So let's go catch the end of this game. Always love to see a game still happening. So on Zanshin's side, we have an already dead Ice Melda. There's that Celica, for whoever was asking why Celica doesn't get used. I think that was Claudio. We have Isolde up here. Under guard, building up stacks. Ooh, she has all her stacks, actually. So she's ready to start ripping shit up next turn. As for Defteros, he still has Ice on the field, and BS, and Celica, and Lightbringer. AO is dead. Well, we might get an Apotheosis finish, just like we had in the last game. Demon Ice Melda. Demon Lightbringer. Zanshin has the good graces to still have the normal-looking horses. How is Defteros going to deal with this Isolde? I guess I should check you. I mean, she's silenced, but she's still guarding. Oh man, this Isolde is getting ready to rip. She doesn't have 3C, though. She could use her 2C. I guess I also didn't look for an AO portal. Like, is a clone going to be coming back next turn, or is she dead? I don't see a portal anywhere, but it could be under all this shit. Seems unlikely. I think she's dead. Oh, yeah. You're right, LB was standing on it. Well, the thing is, now Zanshin's Lightbringer is frozen. Isolde's ready to rip, but she's also hurt. Yeah, I mean, one of the frozen units is just horse. But that doesn't really help with recovering from that ice blast. Just smacking into Lightbringer. Woo! Almost kills the Lightbringer. Almost. But that's a team heal at least. Also unfreezes LB. That's important. Unfreezes Horse just in time to get a miracle off. Okay, so that's fine. Lightbringer surviving that with like 200 hit points was crazy. I mean, I guess it's because she's demon. The fact that she survived is crazy. Beverage break. We get attack down or damage down? Damage down, defense down. Some new debuffs. We got attack down and damage down now. It's like a whole faction buff worth of stats down. Lightbringer silenced again. Which is unfortunate for Zanshin because his guard runs off this turn, so he won't be able to put it back up if he's still silenced. Gonna probably want to move Lightbringer here to get passive guard on people. I mean, Chris has a free kill on Horse here if she wants it. Easy pickings. One of her offensive debuffs got cleared. Her damage dealt debuff, it's gone. Okay, now it is down to what Zanshin wants to do with this Isolde. Ice will have AoE back next turn. He was really hoping that first attack was going to kill her. Oof. Having to do that from the ice and refreezing Isolde there. Ice Melda is going to go ham next turn. Little pull on Apotheosis here. She can single target him. The Mimir took the ice away. And Lightbringer regained her ice. Okay, so Zanshin with turn priority here. Defteros can act with... just do something with Celica. And then Zanshin... I mean... the Ice Melda is pretty far out of the action, because remember, the fog is going to be here and here as well. So Zanshin won't be able to kill that even with a ranged attack from Isolde. So he'll be able to use turn prio to do something with Isolde at the start of the turn, if he wants. But ice is going to be off the table for that first action. And then she has AoE back, so she's going to be able to put the ice to the rest of Zanshin's team again. Friends, there's a... I'm not sure what it's called, but it's one of the, like, early, like, Chapter 1 Langrisser M soundtrack tracks. So there's, like, a music player in the game. If you go into the music player, you can go through, like, the first page of tunes, and you'll be able to find this one pretty quickly. In fact, someone in the chat may open up their client and do that and find the name of the song for you. I mean, the rough thing for Zanshin here, yeah, you gotta go for the AO. That's an easier kill. Get a heal off that. But then you also don't want to be close to whatever Ice is gonna get herself up to here. Okay. Those were the right units to kill. Yeah, Ice just goes for the... Oh, the double freeze, too. Double freeze back here. I mean, that said... Oh, he's gonna wall Zanshin in now. He's gonna wall Zanshin in. Celica can just move up. Dirty. Dirty. And the thing is, the fact that Defteros has another unit means even if Zanshin sacrificially, like, uses BS to kill this horse, then Ice Melda can just move in and take that spot before someone else can move out. Like, normally, if this is 2-on-2, BS just kills this, and then Lightbringer moves out that alleyway. But there's no way to do that now. I mean, Lightbringer has a revive, so she can die in fog once. Oh, BS is flying. BS can get out. Lightbringer uses her first sacrificial fog life to get stun immunity on the team because they're dealing with this nonsense. Oh, he picked up a damage skill on Celica as well. Okay, the horse spawns in... Oh, is he gonna try for like a counter fog play? No, just straight up kills Bright Summoner. Yeah, that's it. Wow. Defteros beats Zanshin. Whoever bet on Defteros got some real underdog money there. So we're going to have, on Saturday, this weekend coming, Q, the returning champ. Oh, this isn't even that. Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, so he had his big season stretch, 13 to 15, then missed a couple times, and then won again last season. That's right, it was his redemption season. I remember that was the theme of my stream last season. So he's coming back for more. Returning champ against Defteros. Who was in the mix last season, top 8, so this is his second time in a row in the top 8. Wow, season 13 was his first season. Interesting. Also, what's this? What a shambles! Do your dice mode. And then we're gonna have WindSeeker against Pay the Toll. That, to me, is the more interesting side. Because I know both those players. I know they play their accounts. Yeah, WindSeeker has lots of on and off success in normal Apex. Pay the Toll. The fact that he operates 3 accounts, got 3 of them to the top 16 and 2 of them to the top 8 is just hilarious. So that's something. Very consistent, though. Very consistent all the way back. Yeah, I think WindSeeker versus Pay the Toll is going to be a very interesting close game. Defteros versus Q is going to be a really tight meta game. So we have options. Maybe we'll watch both of them next weekend. That said, I mean, I know I said this last night, but it's been true both nights. I do have a delicious barbecue chicken waiting for me after the stream, so I think I'm going to call it here. We will have some Waifu Wars coming up. We will have more Apex semifinals and finals coming up on the stream this weekend, and also, obviously, don't forget, a new episode of Should You Come? Should you come? Yes, you should. Should You Summon? That'll be coming up Tuesday, Wednesday as well. And the answer to that is yes, too. So I will see you all in the comments of that video, and then on the next stream coming up this weekend. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you then. Happy languishing.